Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is John Tabor at UDS, and I want to thank you for joining the webinar today. I can see we've got a couple of people joining late, but I'm glad you're all here. Please be sure to put me up on the screen if you're on your computer. Now would be a good time to bring me to the front. As you can know, or maybe you don't, but I can tell it's interesting. I can see when you're on or when you're not. Let's get started. Today it's CSI product knowledge, and we're talking about some of the things today that are important to know. It's a pretty basic thing, knowing your product, but what we want to accomplish today is to kind of look into some areas that you might want to think about when it comes to product. So let's start with, are you a product knowledge expert? When we used to watch those courtroom shows, the question always was, they'd always bring somebody up who was an expert, and they could testify. Well, are you a product knowledge expert? Could you be that person? How would you rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? Most people, when asked that question, are in the 8, 9, or 10 range. But if we're to be tested on T's and C's and some of the specifics about each product, that number kind of decreases. So, a couple of best practices in F&I when it comes to products are you want to review your products and make sure that they're up to date at least once a year, if not twice. Products change. We get product bulletins from time to time. When you see those bulletins come to you, they're a great idea to read them and make sure you understand any changes that have been made in products. It takes a while to make a change in a product. It has to be filed, it has to be printed, the brochures come out. So anytime you get brochures, that's a good time or any product information, forms, that sort of thing, that's a great time to review the product and take a look where you are. Moving on, identifying the evidence. Where can you find product information? There's lots of places that make sense. Brochures are a great place. The other thing that's good about brochures is that they can give you some language to use when you're talking about products. Those companies spend a lot of money and time coming up with marketing that is compelling, and the copywriters that write those things spend a lot of time trying to get the language just right. So that's a great place to get language that you can incorporate into your presentation when you're talking about product. One of the best places to really get the information is your terms and conditions on the back of the forms. Really read through that. I know it's not exciting reading, but there are some things in there that you need to know. They may come up, and that's where all the details are. That's where the what we will and won't do and how it will and won't happen and those types of things are there. And that's a great place to get information. Another place to find out, what if, to get those what if answers. What if this happens? Is that going to be covered? Or what if this happens? Is online too. Your product brochures and the products are all online. We're going to talk about something else in a minute that's even better, but one thing that you're starting to see now are product reviews. The product reviews are online. I was looking at an Allstate service agreement online recently, and there are product reviews starting to show up online for those products. And those are some of the things that we can use as a third-party source to endorse our product. And it's an opportunity for you to put that into your evidence manual and those types of things, which we're going to be talking about in a minute or two. So, some tools of the trade. Well, I'll tell you, one of the biggest tools of the trade is that you have as a resource is the UDS Partner Portal. If you haven't been there in a while, or if you use it, good for you. If you haven't been there in a while, everything is up to date. You know that if you're in the Partner Portal and you're looking at the product section, everything there is the latest. So that's a great place to compare what you have to be sure that what you have in your office is up to date. Liz here keeps up with all of that. She makes sure that those changes are all added in, and the staff here at UDS make sure that that is your one-stop source for accurate information on product. So take advantage of that. Everything you need is there: product, brochures, forms, T's and C's, all current and up to date. Other tools. Well, I tell you, one tool that is probably the best is an evidence manual. It's old school. It's been around a long time. There's newer versions of it, but do you have one? If you don't, why not? And if you do have one, do you use it? And what goes in there? Why do we like evidence manuals? Well, it's a way to prove what we're saying using a third-party source and data to reinforce what we're talking about. It also may be just what we're looking for to push a customer over the edge when they're trying to make a decision on whether or not to buy the products that we sell in F&I. And what do we want in there? Certainly some of the things that we want to put in there are ROs that show repair costs for small items, that sort of thing. We may keep some interesting information on product in there. I tell you, one of the best practices I see right now in F&I is that when you think about it, when a customer comes into your dealership and they go through the sales process, whether they buy or not, they're getting called by the store, by Crown, to be sure that that it's getting taken care of. That they were taken care of right, that they have, are they coming back? They want to make sure that the customer had a good experience. Service is probably even more on top of it when it comes to calling our customers. They want to make sure that the service experience they had was benchmark and top of the market, so that the customer retention is there for them. Who calls an F&I? Nobody. Do we, I'm a little off topic here, but when a customer leaves our office, we don't call them back very often. We don't want to see, we don't call to see if they understand the products that they purchased. And it's very difficult to track them and call them down the road when they start using the products or making claims. So it's always a good idea to get service involved and have them contact you every time a warranty claim is paid in service so that you can follow up. The good news about this follow-up is you already know the story. The service advisor can tell you, hey, they were in, it was this was the module that was replaced. It would have been a $1,200 repair. They had a rental car for a day. We repaired it. They were really happy about it. Great time to call a customer and just say, I saw you're in the service department yesterday. You made a claim using the service agreement that you purchased when you took delivery of the vehicle from me on this day. And I just want to make sure the process went like we talked about. And the customer is going to say, yeah, it was great. And we can say, listen, I'm glad it was a great experience. If you get a minute, I'd sure appreciate it. Would you go online onto our website and write a review about me and the product? The reviews that we see on the website are all about sales and service, and we never see them about F&I. And that would make a great endorsement for our customers, third party. You could make copies of those, put those in your evidence manual. The customers are going on your website endorsing you and the products that you sell. And that's something that I think certainly is a best practice now and should be included in every evidence manual for sure. Now, I've got a question for you here. Why do we, whenever we're in your office or we're in the dealership or anybody from UDS, we always come in and look around the office, and if you have brochures sitting on your desk, that always makes us sad. And my question I have to you is that, do you know why we are so adamant about not having brochures on your desk? And it's really pretty simple. There's a few reasons why, but the biggest reason is this. If you have the brochures sitting on your desk, it's a pass for the be-back bus. It says to the customer, one, you're going to get sold something while you're sitting in here, and two, hey, you can take this brochure and go home and think about it. And we don't, neither one of those are things that are something that are desirable. One, we want to, we're not going to sell, we're going to be consultative and recommend products. And we certainly don't, we want the customer to make the decision at time of purchase, because we all know that if a customer takes the brochure and goes home, they very rarely, if ever, call us back and say, hey, I've weighed this out and I think it's a great thing, can I do it? Then, of course, the answer is yes, you can, but you're going to have to pay cash for it or put it on your credit card. So make sure that we take a look at our office. If you got brochures sitting around, get them out of there. If you have stuff on the walls, some promotional things, those are okay. They'll start some questions in customers' minds, and I like that. But the brochures are a no-no. They're like I said, they're a ticket to the back bus. The other thing is, go through your forms, any outdated promotional items. If you have that stuff around, you can get it out of there. I do like things like the coffee cup or the shopping cart, or something with a bunch of things that we take out tires. Those are good things to have sitting around because they create conversation. They're fun to talk about. People tend to pick them up and look at them and want to talk about them. But I would take a look at my, any old stuff, get it out of your office, and keep your office clean, neat, and up to date when it comes to product and product materials. So, if you're looking at your screen, I wonder if you can tell what happened here. Use your investigative service to see looks like we have some spent cartridges laying on the ground and the outline of a body. And if you can't figure it out, I'm going to tell you what happened. What happened here is an F&I manager's credibility was shot dead because they couldn't answer a product question. Think about it for a second. We need to be able to answer any question, just about any question any customer comes up with about any of the products that we sell. The minute we say, I don't know, but I can find out and get you back when it comes to what you do, the credibility starts to drop pretty quickly. And it gives the customer an opportunity to think about it, consider others, or just say no. Same thing happens with salespeople. If the salespeople ask us a question about product and we don't know the answer, they get nervous pretty easily when it comes to sales anyway. And they may become, certainly a salesperson can endorse our process, but unfortunately they can also unendorse our process as well, and we don't want that to happen. They've got to look to you, and you have to be able to answer any question anytime about any product that you sell. And be that guy or that woman that whenever a question is asked, you don't have to look it up. You don't have to think that this is the answer or that's the answer. You know it's right because you've done your research and you've done your homework. There's nothing worse than not knowing your product, and we've all experienced it one time or another. I had a great experience at Home Depot last week. I was in there and I'm looking for something, and I was lucky enough to have somebody with the orange vest come walking by, and I said, hey, listen, do you know if you make this kind of a product? And I was looking for a specific bracket, and they had no idea. Not only that, they couldn't tell me where I might be able to find it. They were guessing. And I said, okay, I get it. So I went to the area that I thought it might be and waited around until I found somebody and asked them, and they didn't know the answer either. So what happens there? Here I am. I'm in a situation where I'm looking for advice. I'm looking for an expert. I talked to two people. Neither one of them had it. Needless to say, my experience wasn't the best. I ended up getting the information and finding what I wanted on my own. But it did give me a little pause, and I do have an option to go get to Lowe's or Ace Hardware and see if the customer service is better there and if the people there can answer the questions. I don't know. So take some time, pull out your forms, look at what you sell, look at what you sell the most, and really understand it. And again, get on the partner portal, read the T's and C's, and know the product inside and out. That's another thing to put into your evidence manual. If there's anything significant or you want the customer to know, highlight it and put it on the back side. and put it in your evidence mailing so you can pull it out and show it to them, or the form itself while you have it there on the desk. Credibility, trust, enthusiasm, and confidence are what people are looking for in the F&I office, and they're looking for from anybody who recommends anything to them. Those are the 4 traits they're looking for. Product knowledge gives you those 4 and helps you be a better F&I person for sure. So here are a couple of things that we need to do too. We need to ask the right questions to uncover the needs. Anybody who's been through boot camps probably heard me say that a few times, and we do. Hold on a second. Am I seeing a question? Let's see. No. Thought I was seeing a question. I wasn't. Hold on. I want you to know how hard it was to find that picture, but I will do anything and go to any lengths for the people that come to these webinars. But, you know, we have to be able to match the products to the customer's needs. Certainly anybody who has ever gotten a dent on their car or a ding in a parking lot is a prospect for dent and ding, and I just picked that one as an example for today. But it's easy when we know what people do and how they use their vehicles, we can then match the products to what their match the products to their need, which then we can show the benefit. So don't forget that important aspect when it comes to product knowledge is being able to understand what the features, advantages, and benefits of the products that we offer our customers and being able to match those to the customer's needs. All right. And if we can use all those tools that help us, we can help stop product knowledge crime. I appreciate everybody joining us today, a little shorter version. If you have any questions, you're certainly welcome to email me at jtaber@udsdealerservices.com, or I'd be glad to send out a recording and a copy of the presentation today. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks for joining us today. See ya.